Everyone, welcome back to Engineer and Educator. In today's session, we are going to learn one of the most important parts of web development, that is HTML forms and client-side validation using HTML5. Whether you're building a login page, registration form, or a feedback page, forms are everywhere. So let's dive right in. Okay, what is an HTML form? So, a form in HTML is like a digital version of the forms you fill in real life. It is like, say, last time we completed everything regarding this uh, HTML. Now, this is about the forms. Say, a form in HTML is like a digital version of the forms you fill in real life, like application forms or survey forms. It allows users to input data that can be submitted to a server. And there is an example for a basic HTML form structure is given here. You can see an example here. A common HTML labels are input. It's common HTML form tags are used here. And the first thing that you have to make sure is that when you're making an HTML form, first thing is that you have to make it inside the form tag. See here, I have an angular bracket in which I have written form, and there is a closing bracket, and this is the closing tag of this form tag. Okay, so we'll be making the HTML form inside this form tag. So, and here there is an action attribute that is used. I hope you have already studied what is an attribute from the last class. So, action here represents that is the page where the form data goes. So, once the form data is submitted, where this form data goes or to which page is this form data goes. So, here I have given a file name which is submit.php. So, once this form data is submitted, it is to this page, the form data will be going. So method can be, there is a lot of HTTP methods, not a lot, but some HTTP methods are there. You know that HTTP means Hypertext Transfer Protocol. And based on that, what method is used inside the form that is being written here using the method attribute. So here, once when you submit some kind of data, what you are doing is that you're posting that. For example, I'll tell you, for example, just think that there is a database and we have a database, and imagine that this data, this name, the input name, that we are inputting here in the simple form that is being uh, transferred or that is being sent to a database. Okay, so when you send that, when you submit that form, that data is being sent to the database. At that time, what happens is that the data is created inside your DB, right? Yeah, we are adding some data to the database. Okay, so in order to add something, we use the post method. Okay, for example, if you want to get something, for example, if it was a search tab, we can make search tab using this. So the method that we would have used here is get method. Okay, here what you are doing is that you are submitting the data. So that is you are adding the data. So the HTTP method that you use is for the query is a post. So method can be a get request or a post request. Use get for simple queries and all. For example, simple search results. So for example, you have seen some search bars in some websites. So then what is the method attribute use will be? It will be get method. Okay, and post for securing the data, or to add the data, we use for secure data, we use post. Now, common HTML form elements. So here I have already told a form tag defines a form action. It's a URL where the form data is being sent, and method is HTTP method get or post. Common HTML form elements, or you can say the common HTML form elements are input form element. You have input form element and sorry, you can see here a common HTML form elements. They are input. Input is a form element. Why there is an input tag. Input tag is a self-closing tag. See, form tag had an open tag and a closing tag, but this input tag doesn't have a closing tag. You can see here. And label. Label is another form element. Okay, this one input. Input for this input tag is used for text, email, password, checkboxes, and more. And label tag. See, you can see here. Here you have a label tag. Inside this label, this here the label tag opens, and there is 4 is equal to name. Okay, that is the purpose of this label tag is to describe what the input is for. Here is an input tag here. This input tag, what it does is that it will give you a space on the web page. So let's show you. I'll show you that later. When you code, you will come to know that. So, or like in the previous slide, you can see. See this space where the user can insert some data. So the space has come here in this form as a result of the input tag that is being used in that form. Okay. Then on the other way, if you think this one here one, the first name. So this is the label. So these kind of things. So that asks the user what data or what input you can put into the form or into the user input, that is input tag, that is the label. Okay. The text area. So here there is no text area given in this form. You cannot see. For this text area is to input more than one line or something. For large text blocks like feedbacks or comments or messages and all, we make use of the text area. Then select an option for drop downs. Then button tag that is used to submit or reset the form. Here I have in user button tag. What I have used is the input tag, and I have used the input tag's type attribute to make it onto a button. See, type is equal to submit is what I have given here. So that will automatically become a button. Okay, and you can create various types of inputs using the just the type attribute. You can create various types of inputs using this type attribute. Let me show you a few. Here you can see, in order to get a text input from the user, you have to write input tag type is equal to text. Close the tag. There is no, that's not a it doesn't have a closing tag, it has a self-closing tag. Then password field, there you have to give input type is equal to password. Email, input type is equal to email. See, the tag used is the same in all cases, but in order to get different inputs from the user, you are giving an attribute inside the tag, input tag, and that attribute is a type attribute. So according to which uh, which input you have to get from the user, you change the type. If you have to get a text, you will write the text. To get the password, you give password, email, number. In the this radio button, if you want radio buttons, and you give this type radio. And check boxes, if your type is equal to checkbox, type is equal to file, submit button type is equal. If you need a submit button in this inside the form, you will write input type is equal to submit. So each input type helps make the form more intuitive for the user. Another thing is that, uh, see, here some form elements are given here. Field set, legend, button, custom buttons. So it's a custom button. You can use input button also. Some form elements, again, it is being described in the slide. How you have read this? I'm going to the, see here you can see text area is used for multi-line text input. Okay. Now it's about form validation. So client side validation. So HTML and JavaScript. See here inside for custom validation, we can make use of JavaScript also, HTML and JavaScript for form validation. But here we will study only about client-side validation, and it's just about with HTML alone. HTML5 attributes like required, pattern, max length, JavaScript, these are used for client-side validation, and for custom validation, we make use of the JavaScript. In server-side validation, we have PHP, Node.js, and other backend uh, programming languages which ensure security and data integrity. Then, uh, for email validation and all, now let us make a simple form. Okay, this is all about HTML forms. Now let us make a simple form, and I'll show you how to make a how to validate an HTML form. So what is actually meant by validation? Okay, so think of form validation like a teacher checking your answer sheets before you submit it. The same way, what happens is that when the user inputs some data before the form is getting submitted, that is being checked whether every field is entered correctly with the required in the required pattern and format. So in order to check that, we make use of client-side validation. So HTML5 helps catch mistakes instantly. So like forgetting to write your name or choosing the wrong option and all. So that is what we call as client-side validation. And along with the form and different form elements, we make use of uh, different types or attributes. Like one type attribute, name attribute is there, required attribute, pattern attribute, and max length attributes for client-side validation. So different attributes also we will make use of. So those different attributes too. So we can simply create a form to see how it works. Okay. Here, this is an example for a simple form. First, I will explain it to you, and after that, I will make a simple HTML form with client-side validation in action. Okay. Uh, so first thing is that as I have already mentioned to you, we have a form or a form tag. Okay, form tag is there. Then we have inside the form tag, we need to mention the page to which the data must be sent upon submission, and that is here I have a simple file name like register.php, and I don't have any file with me with PHP currently now, just a name to I have given a name here. Then method is equal to post method. So when I'm taking the input values or input data from the user, and I am what I'm doing is that I am just sending it to the DB. So I'm taking the data from the user. So and when I click on the submit, or when the user click on the submit button, what it must happen is that it must be sent to the register.php file. Or when we have a database, we have to send it there. So the thing is that adding data, so the HTTP method uses post. So label for what purpose? So this is for username. So I have given four attribute here, and that is username label. Then input type is equal to, so username is usually every username and everything, it comes in as a text data. So the type must be text. So if you have an input tag for the user to input the data, and the type attribute is set to text, and there I'm giving an ID, that is username, and the name also, that is username. See, ID and name. I have given it. This is for the purposes of later on doing some programs and all, or when you are adding some style and all. We make use of this ID and name attributes at that time. Then there I have given another attribute that is required. This attribute is an attribute, but it doesn't have a value. This is simply this is an attribute, and this required attribute just the client side validation for the input username input here. Okay, that means it will make sure that the username is entered. If that is not entered, this form will not get submitted. So then similarly for label for giving email, then email text is given, then the input type, and here the type has changed from text to email. Then ID is equal to email, name is equal to email required. The label for password, input type, I have to give it as password. Then ID, name I'm giving ID, just I'm giving an ID that is password name also. I'm giving the same name, password. Okay, required. See, everything, every input type I have given here required, required, required. And that's because if they haven't given any of this, if the user has not filled or it he hasn't given any of this input data that is needed, the form will not get submitted once you click on the submit button. Okay, that's it. Code explanation. Okay, in the next video, I'll be checking about cascading style sheets. But now what we have to do is that we have to do our class exercise. Okay, so the first thing is that I will make a form form. I'll show you how to make an HTML form. Okay, I'm just going to make an HTML form. Set that is HTML form validation. We can make use of, sorry, form validation dot html. Okay, see, I have created an HTML page, and that page is just to show you what is HTML form validation. And for that, I need a basic HTML structure for our web page. So I think you have remember that shift plus exclamation mark will give you this. And I'm just going to write the title of the page as my first HTML form or something. Or okay, let us give it as a your form. Registration form. Okay. Registration form. I'm just giving the name like this registration form. Okay. And here what I have to give is just I'm going to give a title welcome user or something. I'm just giving. So you might have seen that kind of forms. Right. Okay. Welcome user. Please register. See, I'm just writing in. Please register here. Um, welcome, please register here. That's enough, I think. Okay, so next I'm just giving a break after this. Then I'm just giving. So what are you going to make? We are going to make a form here. So what I have given first, I'm giving a form tag. Okay, next is that what the user must know what he or she must input into the input tag or something. So for that, what we need to give is that into what all data what we need. So we make use of label here, and I'm just giving. I first need the name from the user. Okay. Now I will run this and show you how it will work. See, name has come here. Next, what we'll be doing is that so we can give all the labels that we require. Okay, so I need another label for what for email. Okay, let it be for email. Then another label for age. Then another label is for email. another another label for password, another label for password, and another label for phone number. Label for phone number. I'm just giving phone number. Another label for phone number. And okay, yeah, I think this much is enough. Okay, you can see here I have see everything has come like this. Okay, I can put some break in between. So it will start a new line. Okay. Sorry. Um, excuse me. So we are the tag. I'm just labeling and I'm giving a break for everything. And I think this is, you all can see this. See, now I have the label for everything, what all details that I require from the user. All these things I have labeled here. Okay, so now the question, where is the user going to input all these things? Okay, so for that, we have the input tag. So which I have already told you. See, you can see here, input, and see, right after the name tag, in order to enter the name, we need a field to enter the name. So for that, I have the input tag here. Then about the email in this case. So after input tag, see, you have seen here that after input tag, the email has come here, right? Right. Okay. For that, I am just going to give after input tag, I'm just giving a break tag. Okay. And see, with everything for email tag also I need an input tag. For age also I need input tag. So and the break also I need a request. So I'm just copying it and I'll paste everything here. Okay. After break tag, just see with everything I need an input tag. Next is this one. And yeah, yeah, the form now you have got a clear form, right? Very well, it is written. Okay, what is missing from this one is that, yeah, you are missing something called, but you're missing something called, yeah, you need a button for the submit. You need a submit button is required, right? Yeah, either you can write here or you can either make a bracket tag on to just give a button. Okay, and you have submit. See, submit button. Got a submit button? Yeah, but we'll make use of the input tag here. Okay, how to make input tag? Say input tag. Yeah, I have used an input tag here. Let's be like that. Now, I told you that inside this input tag, according to your use, we will make sure which type is being inserted. So I'm giving here type. Yeah, what type is this? This is submit button. So this input tag is making, you're going to make uses of this input tag as a submit button. Okay, here you got it, got the submit button. But there is one thing that here it is like submit. So the value that is written inside this button is submit. So I have to change that value from submit to something else. I just want to say this is a registration form. Okay, it is better to keep something like value is equal to register so that the user can know this is a key to register. Submit this registration. Okay. Yeah, now you see. Yeah, register here. Okay. So before that, now, okay. So, okay, next we'll be moving on to input tag. So I told you that I have an input tag here. Then something which I require is what we call as require something like, yeah, this one. Okay. So here input is it is ready here, and now inside the input tag we need to add it type at its type of the input. What type? See here, this is the type. Here I am going to add what type for name is this text. So the type should be text. Okay, type should be text. And what is the name that we are going to give is just I'm going to give the name is equal to name. Okay, name is equal to okay. That's okay. So here I'm just going to type see any length I can get my name. Or see there is no end. My name can be as long as possible. See, so you don't need that much, to keep. So you want to minimize the length of the name of the user. Okay, so you are going to give an attribute here that we will discuss later, and that is we'll give an attribute that for to make the length of the name small or uh, of minimum length, and that we will tell you that I will tell you later. Now just we will deal with this type and all later on we will. Okay, here when coming to this input field for the email, you just see uh, I'm just giving okay, and if I register, see for validation name is equal to C. This has got submitted. Okay, it's like it has got submitted or see, when you click on the submit button back, what happens is there has a change. Yes. See, it is the form is getting submitted. So this should not happen. For that, just I have to give like the type must be input. The user must input only something of an email format, email address format. So, in order to make sure that the user enters something that of the email type and just entering here type is equal to email. Yeah. And name also I'm giving email. Name is equal to email. Now just see. Now I'm going to type something else and just going to click register. See, when I am clicking register here, it is asking me, please include an at in the email address. This is missing an at. So it is, you all know that inside an email address, we have an at here. So when I enter something else without an at, so HTML5 check that, yeah, that is not there. So this is not of the type email type. So it, it didn't allow us to submit this form. Okay, we got a message, a reminder like message. Yeah, you have not entered the correct format. So I'm just going to give this. But this time you can see register. Yeah, email value is also taken. Okay. Next is that um, for age. Okay, age, what should be the type? For age, the type should be here. Now, when I click like this, see here, I need some type for age. I need input type is equal to for age. I can give type is number type. Okay. So when I'm going to click on some other keys, that's not getting, you'll get a number. So an age, see, you get a number here. Okay. Now, next is that of here type also, name also I'm giving as what? Age. Name is equal to age. Now, next one. Next is about password. Okay, password. See here, yeah, in password field, the type should be that of, yeah, of course, it should be of text. Okay, I'm just giving text. Okay, yeah, the password type is text. Okay, so I'm going to register it. See, password value is taken, but there is one thing problem. The one problem that I can see is that, see here this time when when you're typing the password, anybody else sitting next to you can see the password, right? Or this is not secure. It's not secure way. So we need to hide that. Okay, so for that, instead of type is equal to text, you must give type is equal to what? I'm just giving type is equal to password. Type is equal to password. Now when you type the password, that will be concealed from the others. Okay. Now for phone number. See, here I have given nothing. Only an input tag. So I need to make this set type is equal to 10 for telephone. Okay. See, type is equal to telephone and has come. Telephone. But you have to make sure that see some pattern or something you must need. Okay. For that, what you can do is that here name. But I require only names. Okay, the minimum length of the name. That means nobody should have a name like T, and they must not submit the form like this, or S like this. At least three letters must be there. So I'm just going to put an attribute inside the input type is equal to minimum length. Okay, at least so min length is equal to it must be at least 3. I'm just giving the length as 3. So I'm just giving W and trying to submit. See, please lengthen this text to 3 characters or more. You are currently using only 1 character. You got a message. These are all examples of form validation. Okay, now about email also. Email, okay, that is okay. And now age. Age should be greater than 18 years. At least he or she must have 18 years or up to 16 years we can take. Okay, here also we are adding another attribute, and that attribute is minimum age. For minimum age, we give min is equal to 18 minimum. The user must be of 18 years or maximum he must be of 60 years. Okay, so only up to that age you can enter. So I'm just going to enter here age 3 and register. Value must be greater than or equal to 80. See? Okay, I'm just giving value 100 and going to click value must be less than or equal to 60. Okay, got a message like this. Hmm? So that is the thing with this. These are attributes. This min, max, min, length, everything are attributes that we are using. Now about the password. Okay, password for password we have given name, password, name type is equal to password, and input type is equal to password, and for that there is a must be a name attribute for other purposes. When we are going to program and all, we need this name and id attribute. So that's I'm just giving a name as password, and I'm giving the password must be of here. You can enter more. See, I'm just typing. So how many numbers have come? So I need a password which are at least of 6. Minimum length of the characters must be 6. So I'm just giving the password. Just giving min length for a password must be 6. Okay. So if I see when I type, see minimum length must be 6. So I'm just typing. For example, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just already see. Please lengthen this text to 6 characters or more. You are currently using 5 characters. I'm not able to register. Okay. See, another min length is equal to 6. Then another is that for telephone. Telephone, there is type we have tel. Then there is another thing. That is, we need to use a pattern. Okay, telephone has a pattern. So you are using the pattern. So another thing is that we have all of these things. So even if I just enter my name, then some email or age, yeah, 28 and this Just entering all these things. See, here I'm not able to register. Okay, I'll write an email address here. Okay, and register. I'm clicking register. See, able to. That those old values are taken. Okay, there I didn't get any message because see, I'm just making it some values. I'm going to empty some values um, and I will handle some. See, phone number. I'm not going to give the phone number. See, register. See, the you got see you can see here the values changes here. So that means the values are being taken and the form is getting submitted. So this should not happen. So the form must only get submitted if all the fields in the form are filled by the user. For that, we make use of an attribute called required attribute. Okay, so in the input field, we write required. Okay, required attribute. Similarly, for every input, we need a required attribute. That's not mandatory, but when you are a developer, both which all fields are required by the client or from the user, you have to make sure you give a required attribute. There. See, required attribute. So I'm giving required for everything. Okay, for password also, I'm just going to give required. Password is required. So this is the required attribute. So that means if the password is not entered means it shall not get submitted. The form must not get submitted if the password is not entered properly. So now I'm going to try to submit the form. See, yes, see, you can see here. I gave my name, but I didn't fill this part and I just clicked on the registration button, but I couldn't submit the form since I haven't fill this. Okay, this part I'm filling. Okay, I will fill this also. 89999 like this and register. See, fill out this part. I got another. This is called client-side validation. It's making sure that the user has entered every details that is being asked in the form. Okay, and that too in the required format. That for that. So for example, age. We have used that min and max for age to make sure that the age is in the required format. And for email, we have type is equal to email. For password, we will use another attribute called pattern. So min length we have already used. Another one more attribute we will use with this min length. Sorry. Pattern attribute. Okay, I'm going to use it now. Here you can use this pattern attribute in case of okay phone number. See how many numbers I can type. See more numbers I can type. Okay, this should not happen with the phone number. So I'm just giving a pattern for a phone number. Okay, I'll give pattern for pattern attribute. I'm going to use the pattern attribute for phone number validation, and that is pattern. I'm giving the pattern like pattern is equal to, then in square bracket, which all numbers should I use? From 0 to 9, any number you can use. That too, how many? How many? Only 10. That should be given in curly braces. The pattern must be like that. You can use any number. The phone number can have any number from the range 0 to 9, and it should only have 10 digits. Okay, so in order for the user to know that, you can write another attribute called title, that is like this. For title attribute using like this 10 digit number. 10 digit number. See, I'm just writing 10 digit number. See, just like this. So I'm just giving okay, now let us try to fill our form. Okay, with everything, the password, the required minimum length, all that we have set all these things. I'm just giving email. Okay, age, and now I'm giving password as smudgely. And when I click register, please lengthen this text to 6 characters. Okay, I give it 6. Okay, I'm giving 6. More than 6 also possible because I have already given min length is equal to 6 for password. Okay, register. See, please fill out this form. Okay, I'm filling with 14456. See, please match the title, match the requested format. Or when I click here, you can see you're asked to enter 10-digit number. So what I have written here? I have written here 10-digit number and that has come. See, in the title I have written, title attribute I have written 10-digit number. So whenever the cursor is being put on that field, you'll get 10-digit number. And even if the user didn't see that, when he goes to click on the register button, he will see please match the requested format. So if I'm giving, say, I'm just giving the number as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10 numbers are there. So I'm just giving register. See, this time the form got submitted. So this is how HTML performs a client-side validation. Okay, I hope you have understood everything regarding the HTML form uh, pattern attribute, required attribute. Some attributes are there from some four elements here looked at. So to summarize, you can see forms collect user data, input types define what kind of data is to be retrieved from the user, and HTML5 validation improves user experience. There is no need for JavaScript for basic or a client side basic checks or client side validation. So if you found this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to Engineer and Educator for more beginner friendly web development tutorials. In our next video, we will explore how to style forms with CSS for a beautiful UI. See you in the next class. Thank you.